Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, and I am here for my regular Wednesday morning Facebook Live. Just going to double check this volume. It sounds a little echoey. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. As you pop on, just say hi and let me know if there is an echo on this. So today I'm going to be creating with the Sweet as a Peach stamp set. Well, actually the Sweet as a Peach bundle. And so I'm going to switch my camera over so you guys can see the materials I'm talking about, and we'll get started crafting. So here we go. This is the Sweet as a Peach bundle. So it comes with a stamp set and a die set. And what is so super special about this bundle right now is that it's actually on sale 20% off. I'm just going to double check. I'm wondering if, I do have my mic muted. Okay, good. So as you're popping on, if you just want to let me know if you're getting kind of an echo or feedback or anything, that would be great. So this bundle is on sale at 20% off right now during our Savings in Bloom promotion, as well as the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, which we're going to be using today because it coordinates beautifully with this bundle. And then I have a few other products here. These are products that we're going to be using on today's card, but they're also the products that you would receive if you joined my birthday card club for the month of April. So you can join my club like every month or just some months. And so for April, we're actually featuring the Sweet as a Peach bundle. And then for your $45 fee, you will get a package of the Subtles DSP, a package of the paper lattice, and half a roll of the pale papaya woven ribbon in your kit, as well as all like the make and take pieces to make 6 cards. So that's why that's here, and we're actually going to be using it today on our card. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and we're going to get started with our crafting. I am going to grab a card base. So we're going to use a thick basic white card base, and so this is 8.5 by 5.5, so it's a half sheet of cardstock, and then it's scored at 4 1/4. So we're just going to do that and get my bone folder to give this a nice crease. All right, good morning. As you're popping on, if you want to say hi, I'd love to know who's here and watching. All right, there we go. So that is our thick basic white card base. And then I've got a piece of paper from our Soft Subtles Designer Series paper set here. So this is all of the Soft Subtles: Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Calypso Coral, Highland Heather, Mint Macaron, Pear Pizzazz, Petal Pink, Pool Party, So Saffron, and Soft Seafoam all in this pack. You get 4 sheets of each. So today I've got a piece here of Pear Pizzazz, and I've cut it down to 4 1/4 by, I think I cut it all the way down to 2 1/4. Yeah, 2 1/4. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to glue it right onto our card front, right down at the bottom. Okay, so that's our step 1. So I'm just going to grab my liquid glue. I like liquid glue for this kind of thing because I can shift it around and really get it lined up properly. I can also use this wider edge to get the glue right out to the edges, but in such a thin layer that it's not going to like kind of leak out the sides. All right. So pop that on there, and then I can just wiggle that around until it is lined up in my corners. Because we're covering the whole front, I really want to make sure that gets lined up nicely. All right, there we go. So we've got that glued right down to our card front. Now our next step is that we're going to grab one of these paper lattices, and let's see, just pull that one out. There we go. So we've got this beautiful paper lattice, and you get 10 in a pack, so you get quite a few of them. And I love that they are just like, they're ready to go. You can add color to them if you want, but I actually really like them in the crumb cake color. For this particular card though, I am going to put a background on it. So to do that, I always keep a stack of basic white cardstock, all cut to 4 by 5 1/4. This is actually still just a little bit big for what we want. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut this down to 3 1/4. Hi Danielle, hi Lisa. So now we've got a nice strip there for sentiments or something later. And then just 4 7/8. There we go. That one's probably too small for much. Actually, some of the sentiments in here are pretty tiny. That'll work. Okay. So with that cut down, this actually fits perfectly behind the lattice. Okay, so the way we're going to attach these two pieces together is actually with mini glue dots. You can use the kind on the roll, or I love to use up my extra paper pumpkin ones. And they just pop on. I'm just going to do like a full top row, just where those little dots are, and I'm going to do a full bottom row. There we go. And then I'll do like 2 in the middle kind of thing. So you don't need to do every little dot on here. This is going to hold quite nicely just as it is. So let's start peeling those backings off, and we're going to adhere this straight to that piece that we cut. Come on. There we go. I guess I could still use that take a pick tool to remove these. I'm going to move my garbage can over closer to where I'm working, so I'm not just reaching across my desk all the time. There we go. All right, a few more. Then I'm going to show you a little trick to lining this up nicely. There we go. So I got all those off. So now I'm going to actually stand up both pieces and line them up so that the bases are like touching. Okay. So the bases are touching, and then there we go. So I'm just kind of tapping it down on the table to make sure, and then I'm going to push those two that I put together on the bottom, and then just like that. Now I cut mine just a tad bit too big, so I'm just going to bring in some paper snips and trim up that extra. It doesn't have to be super straight. It's going to be hidden behind that crumb cake. There we go. Excellent. All right. So now that we have those two pieces attached to each other, this is going to eventually go onto our card front, just like that. But before I do that, I'm going to do a bit of decorating on here. All right, so this, guys, is where we get to have a little bit of fun, because I actually haven't designed this whole thing. So we're going to play and see what happens. I think I'm going to actually, I was contemplating doing like the larger vines, but I think I'm actually going to do the big peaches, because I'd like to show you a trick on how to stamp those nicely and how to stamp your stem really nicely. So we're going to grab a big peach and pop it onto a block. And we're also going to need the peach stem and pop that onto a block. And I think that's, well, I'm going to need some sentiments as well. So here we go. I've got the Sweet as a Peach sentiment, and I'm going to grab the Hope Your Day Is As, and we'll pop that onto a block. I don't have a nice skinny one to pop that onto, so we'll just use that. Okay, so we're going to move these off to the side. I'm going to get a piece of scrap white paper, And we are going to do a bunch of stamping on here, and then we'll die cut it. Now, before I do that, I should just trim this down because I want to make sure that it's going to fit into, I'm going to trim it down to 3.5 so that it fits into my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Okay. So 3.5 is about as large as I like to go when I'm going to use the mini machine. And here we go. So to stamp up the peaches and get that really nice, like summer peach look, I like to use pale papaya ink and Calypso Coral combined. I'm going to take my peach and ink it up entirely with my pale papaya. Okay, so make sure I get a good coating there. And then before I stamp that down, I'm going to take a sponge dauber and my Calypso Coral, and I am going to sponge along the edges and along that edge. All right, and then when we put that down, we get that kind of darker ring around our peach, and then the softer, lighter pale papaya color in the center. So it just makes that really beautiful peachy look. So we're going to do that twice. I'd like to have 2 peaches on the front of this card. And I don't even need to re-ink my sponge dauber. I have enough ink left on there from the first time I inked it up. There we go. So we've got our 2 peaches done. While I'm at it though, you know what? Let's add one to the inside of our card. And maybe even to our envelope. All right, so here we go. I'll do that one and stamp that right in there. Okay, and one more on our envelope. I should have had my envelope out, but there we go. Okay, so we're going to ink this guy up, and I think I need just a little bit more ink on my sponge dauber. It seemed to be running out there. There we go. And this one I'm going to do over on this corner. There we go. So we've got all of our peaches stamped. Now we're going to do some stem work. And for my stems, I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz and Early Espresso. Just set that stuff off to the side. There we go. Got my Pear Pizzazz and my Early Espresso. And so I'm going to start by inking up the whole leaf in Pear Pizzazz. And then I'm going to take my Early Espresso ink pad, and I'm just going to use the edge of it to ink up just the stem. And pop that onto our peach just like that. So there we have our envelopes all decorated and ready to go with our card later. We'll do the inside as well. So I'm going to grab that Pear Pizzazz back again, ink up my whole thing, and then just the edge to do my stem. There we go. And this one, I don't think I can stamp it the same way, so I'm just going to twist it the other way for the inside of our card. And voila, we have our peach. So you can see that you can just like twist and turn that, stamp it whichever way you'd like. All right, and then of course we have our 2 that we're going to cut out to add to our card front. So again, ink up with my Pear Pizzazz, and I'll do the stem. And then these guys, we're just going to stamp them completely separate. They don't need to be attached because we're going to use our dies to cut them out. There we go. And the second one. Voila. So now we've got our peaches all ready. We're going to run them through our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Move that ink off to the side. Bring in my mini machine. Love this little guy, and he's on sale right now, 20% off. So it's a smoking deal right now. And I'm going to bring in my plates. Now, when I do my die cutting, I don't follow the actual instructions. I use plate 3 with my 2 plate 2s. So I'm going to pop these down on here. So you can see 3.5 is just like exactly the size of these plates. And so you really don't want it to be any larger than that. Now, let's see. I put the stamp set and dies, there we go, off to the side. So I had space to stamp and then I lost them. So I'm going to pop that right down on top of that. And then there's a little guy here to cut out those leaves and stems. So we'll just pop that right on top. And these line up so super easy. And then we just roll it through our machine. And then we're going to do it a second time to cut out our second peach. So I just put those bits over there. Run through another time. There we go. And pop that down. All right, so what I love about this set is that all the stamped images have little cutouts. And then there's also like the little flower cutouts and the little leaf cutouts and stuff like that. And one nice little one here for a sentiment. So a really nice die set. All right, pop those back on there. There we go. And so I still have this piece. We're going to use this for stamping our sentiment in a few minutes. But let's get our card going. All right. So with the base that we've created, we've got this base, we've got this piece. So we're going to put those together like that. Then we have our peaches, and I think I'd like to pop them both onto the card front just kind of together, but I think maybe up a little bit higher because I want to wrap a ribbon around here. And so we're going to overlap those 2 peaches. Pop on our leaves, and I like how that's going off the side. And then do I want maybe having this one go the other direction? Will be nice. There we go. Then I think we're going to tie our ribbon across the center like that, and we'll throw our sentiment down on the bottom. So the sentiments that I've got are the happy birthday, and then I've got this, I hope your day is as sweet as a peach. And I think I'm actually, I'm undecided now. I was going to put the happy birthday on the front and then throw the hope your day is as sweet as a peach on the inside. But now I'm actually not entirely sure that's what I want to do. Oh, and somehow I've got a hair on the front of our card. Sorry, there we go. All right, so let's start with our bow. So I'm going to show you guys a little trick to our bow. So this ribbon can be very challenging to tie. So I'm putting it across our lattice and just checking out the length and cutting this so that it's a little bit bigger than our lattice. Now also looking at where this is going to go, because I want it to be right around the area where we do the transition from green to white. I'm going to hold that there. I'm going to flip this over, keeping the ribbon in place. And then, oh, hi, Noelle. Hi, Alita. You do have to pull it out, Alita. If you own this one, you definitely need to. All right, so I've just put a little bit of seal on each side. And then I'm going to just double check that this is straight, straight on the front. And just again, double check where I want that. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to tuck these ends into the seal adhesive that I put on the back. Okay, so it's just adhered on the back like that. All right, with that done, we're going to put some dimensionals on here and get this onto our card front because we have some sticky bits on the back now. And so I don't want those. So I always put a dimensional where our ribbon attaches to the paper just as extra security to really hold it in place. And then I just put some dimensionals. You know what? We're going to be putting some heavy stuff here, so I'm going to put some more. I am like the overuser of dimensionals. I hate cards that sag or come apart, so I always kind of overdo it with my adhesives. All right, there we go. So pull all of those off. And this is getting centered on the front of our card. Well, sort of centered. All right. There we go. Now, with that done, I'm going to take some more of my ribbon. Oh, and I've done that roll. Well, I'm going to take my ribbon. I'm going to pop that underneath. And then I'm simply going to tie a knot. This ribbon is, it's not impossible to tie it in a bow, but it's very challenging to tie into a bow. So we're just going to go with the fun little knot look. And then we'll trim up our ends. There we go. So we've got a cute little knot on the front of our card now. Now, with that done, we can start adding in our peaches. So these little guys, I actually put them together right on the card front using dimensionals as well. So these guys are going to go on just like that. So one dimensional on the back of each of them should do it. There we go. So this guy, I need to leave enough space for his stem, but I also want the stem going off the side. So there we have it. And then this guy is going to come down just a little bit lower, like that. All right, then we're going to put dimensionals on the backs of these leaves. And we're going to pop them right in place. So back out just like that. If you wanted to, you could put a mini glue dot there on the tip as well, and that's going to hold it in place. I'm not super concerned about doing that because this is going to stay in place anyways. All right, so there we have our little peaches put together. Now, before I do the sentiment, because I want to give this some time to dry, my favorite thing to do with these peaches is to add a little bit of Wink Stella to them. I don't know why, but it just makes them like super summery to me. So we're going to run over the whole peach with some Wink Stella. And this guy. You could have done this right at the beginning and let them sit to dry, but I wasn't sure how much time I'd have between stamping them and die cutting them and everything. So I'm adding the Wink Stella now that it's on my card because I know I don't need to touch them again. I'll be working down at the bottom on my sentiment. All right. So there we go. We've just added a little bit of a sparkle to them, and I'm not sure if you guys can really see that on the camera. It doesn't really show up, but it's there, and in person it's really beautiful. All right, so now we need to add our sentiment to this card, and I think I am going to go with Hope Your Day is as Sweet as a Peach. What's kind of nice about doing that sentiment on the front of this card is that you then don't have to put the happy birthday inside, or you could handwrite the happy birthday, and you could really make this card for any occasion. All right, so I am going to just double check. I think, yeah, that's going to fit. So I've got this fun little label punch. It's called Label Me Fancy Punch, and we're going to use this guy to do our stamping. And so I'm going to come on in here and punch that out. Okay. And with that done, I'll put my punch back instead of trying to find somewhere to place it. There we go. All right. And I'm going to grab some Calypso Coral ink that I have here on my desk. And I'm going to stamp Sweet as a Peach in Calypso Coral. Now I'm going to stamp it kind of down and to the right. There we go. And then I'm going to close this up. I'm going to grab our, where did we have it? There we go, Early Espresso. Oh, I know, I love the sentiments in this set, Louise. So Hope Your Day, now that doesn't look very straight to me. So here's how you get sentiments straight. You can place them down on your paper, and you can see this just fits onto this label. So hope your day is as, and when I think that that looks nice and straight, then I can go and place my block right down on top of it, and it's going to pick it up super straight. So hope your day is as. There we go. Oh, that's a little too high. Okay, so no worries. With this punch, we can actually flip it over, and I'm actually going to stamp this little guy first. Oh, it's still a little tight. Okay, we're going to give this one more try. I actually saw, as I was punching out the other one, I saw that, oh, I'm not going to use that. That's blue foil. Okay, I'm going to punch one more and give it a try, and then if it's still a little too tight, we'll try a different shape. But I really like this shape, so I'm hoping I can make it all fit. Third time's a charm, right? So I want this down below that little scallop because it just seems very squishy otherwise. There we go. All right, so that's a little less squishy now. Let's hope that we can fit our Sweet as a Peach into the remaining space. There we go. Awesome, looking way less squishy. Now we have this little space over here on the side though, and what I am going to do is I'm actually going to stamp some of our cute little flowers from this onto our page in that little space. So we have these adorable itty bitty flowers. So let's get an itty bitty block for them. And I'm going to stamp them in our pale papaya. Pale papaya. And pop them on just like that. There we go. And put a few over here as well. Awesome. So we've got those sweet little flowers as an embellishment. Now the centers of them, I am actually going to go in there with a marker and just color in the centers to make those flowers stand out just the tiniest bit. And I'm actually going to use an early espresso marker to do that. And so it's just going to be the tiniest little dot. There we go. So nothing too fancy, just like itty bitty dot. You could actually just use like any old pen that you have to do that. And so we've got those little dots in there. Now this little label we are going to attach on here. And I think I'm actually going to give it a little bit of a colorful accent. I'm going to grab a scrap of Calypso Coral. Okay, so I've got my Calypso Coral here, and I want this to be, I've got to measure this because I want it to be just a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to do a 1 inch by, let's see, 2.5 inch strip of this paper. So 1 inch by 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to trim up the ends of it using my tailored tag punch. So I'm going to create, oh, I hope I didn't make this too short because I forgot that this is going to dip in so far. We'll see. All right, might be big enough. Oh, it's big enough. It's actually almost too wide, I think. I wanted something a little bit tinier than that. Yeah, not quite. Okay, so not quite what I wanted. So we're going to try that again. I'm going to do less than 1 inch. And this is, that is just slightly more than 2.5. I'm going to cut it at a full 3. All right. And less than 1 inch. We'll do it at about 3/4. There we go. That will be better. So I just want a little pop of color behind our label is what I'm going for. And then I think I might actually just cut these on a sweet little diagonal. So I'm going to actually attach these first. So I'm going to put a little runner seal on the back. Attach this in here. So I like that it's now smaller than the little bubble on the sides. And then I'm just going to take my paper snips and snip the edges on a cute little diagonal. And then turn that and do this side. There we go. That's nice. It just needed a little bit of color behind it. All right. So with that done, this is going to get attached to our card front. And I actually was going to use dimensionals, but I actually don't think that it needs dimensionals since everything else is already so popped up. So we're just going to run, oops, run a little bit of Seal Plus behind that, or you could use some glue. And we're going to pop that onto our card. I do want it sticking off the edge a bit, but not too much. There we go. All right. So that is attached, and now we just need to add some embellishments to this. And what I've been finding is that my favorite embellishment right now to add to this, oh, if I can find them. Oh, there we go. Are the polished dots, because we have those polished dots that have like the slight peach color to them. And actually, here, I'll use both packs. I've got so many open. Wow. All right. I use the little ones a lot more than I use the big ones, so then I can just keep opening new packs. All right, so we're going to pop on some polished dots right on here. Okay, come on. Pick up some polished dots. So let's see. Actually, oh, that's cute, putting that right on the edge. And then maybe one up here right off the edge. All right. So we've got our polished dots popped onto our card. Actually, I don't like that off the edge. So you can lift these guys with like a tool or whatever, and then put them wherever you'd like them. So maybe pop that one up there. Actually, I think we need a few more on this card. All right. Pop one up there and bring another one in down around here. So this is always the part that I struggle with, is figuring out where to put the embellishments. All right. There we go. So we've thrown them all over the card front, and we are finished. So, well, thank you, Danielle. So that is our finished card. That is, I'll bring it down into view for you. That is using the Sweet as a Peach bundle that's on sale, 20% off right now, and our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Also 20% off. There's 12 other bundles that are on sale that all coordinate with the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and are just fabulous. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but I know for sure What's Cooking and Art Gallery and oh, those are the only ones I know for sure off the top of my head. But you can go check it out on the Stampin' Up website under the Savings in Bloom section. And then if you love the look of this card and the combination of like the paper and the lattice and the ribbon and everything, I've put the link in to sign up for my birthday card club. You don't need to have attended the previous months. We started back in December, but we have 2 months remaining, and you're welcome to just pop in as like a one-off card class and attend that way. So it's just $45. Sent to me, and then you'll get your little packet of your goodie bag and your make and take supplies, and then we'll meet on Zoom on the first Friday of April. So let me know as soon as possible, definitely before the 18th, if that's something that interests you, and we'll get you all registered. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. And let's see, there we go, switch you over. I'll be live again on Wednesday. It'll be spring break. Yay! Can't wait. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys. I hope everybody is getting a chance to enjoy this sunshine and also a chance to keep stamping. And yeah, that's about it. Bye, everyone.